Hello everyone, my name is Vanshika Sharma and I'm a student of BA third year. Today I'm presenting critical analysis of Harp of India. This is a poem by one of the earliest Indian English poets, Henry Louis Vivian Derozio. Derozio was attached to his homeland Bengal. He is regarded as the first modern Indian English poet. His patriotism is evident in the poem that he wrote during his brief life. Despite being half British, Derozio longed for the freedom of India. Now, come to the summary. The poet is lamenting the loss of India's past glory. The poem is written in the form of a sonnet. The harp is symbolic of the old poet who dedicated their lives for the emancipation of India. The harp has now turned into something devoid of purpose, indicating that the past poets have been prevented from using their writing talents. The poet mourns the death of talent which has come about due to suppressive British regime. It is silence that now pervades, and the poet makes use of personification to describe silence. The poet is humble when he acknowledges the greatness of the ancient poets. Now come to the analysis. The poem has two parts. The first is lamentation, while the second expressive hope. The second part focuses on the glorious poetry that was written in the past. Many such poets become famous and their poetry is like beautiful flowers. Their fame has preserved their owners, thus living even after death. The poet concludes with the desire of reviving the past literature and exhort the harp of bring back to India's lost glory. Now come to the themes. The predominant theme is nostalgia for the past glory of Indian poetry that is sadly lost. The poet exhorts his fellow poets to rise up and pursue writing with renewed vigor and enthusiasm. The poet's patriotic zeal is manifesting along with his sadness at the silencing of poetic voice. The poet is critical of the particle practice employed by the British in silencing the voice of protest and revolt. Derozio's strong patriotism augments his poetic sensibility. The poem is clarion call to all Indian poets to resume writing and not resort to defeat. The poet salutes the dead poets whose greatness cannot be erased by the oppressive machinery.
द हार्प ऑफ इंडिया, इसके पोएट्स HLB डिरोजियो हैं। हार्प एक म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है और उसमें गिटार की तरह स्प्रिंग होते हैं। उन स्प्रिंग को बजाने से ही उस हार्प में साउंड या ध्वनि निकलती है, बहुत ही मेलोडियस ध्वनि निकलती है। यह पोएम है जो द हार्प ऑफ इंडिया, इसमें जो हार्प है यह इंडिया की पोएट्री को डिनोट करता है। द हार्प ऑफ इंडिया पोएट्री इंडिया के पोएट्स हम कह सकते हैं और यह इनडायरेक्टली हमें ले जाता है इंडिया के ग्लोरियस भूतकाल में, यानी जो इंडिपेंडेंस से पहले का इंडिया था। उस समय जो पोएट्स थे, जो वह कितने वर्सेटाइल थे, वह कितने टैलेंटेड थे। उस वक्त इंडिया की क्या ग्लोरी थी, उस ब्रिटिश रूल में कैसे जो ग्लोरी थी उस में वह गायब हो गई। जो पोएट्स हैं वह अब उतने ज़्यादा फेमस नहीं हैं। यह एक तरह से कहें तो उनकी आवाज़ को दबा दिया गया है। पोएम को दो सेक्शन में बांटते हैं। पहले सेक्शन में पोएट ग्लोरी का लेमेंट कर रहे हैं और दूसरे सेक्शन में वह पोएट उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि कैसे वह ग्लोरी वापस आ जाए। चलो पहले सेक्शन में देखते हैं। वाई हैंग्स दाउ लोनली ऑन योन विद्रे वाव, इसका मतलब वह है जिसमें दाव एक बहुत ही ओल्ड वर्ड है इंग्लिश का, जिसका मतलब होता है सिविलाइजेशन। पोएट कहते हैं कि तुम क्यों लटके हुए हो इस विद्रोह, जिसका मतलब होता है मुरझाया हुआ। अनस्ट्रंग फॉर एवर मस्ट दाउ देयर रिमेन, जिसका मतलब क्यों तुम मुरझाई हुई डाली पर लटकी हुई हो, हमेशा के लिए उन टूटे हुए तारों के बिना तुम्हें वहीं लटके रहना होगा। मतलब तुम्हें तारे की तरह वहीं लटका रहना होगा, तो उन्हें बजाया नहीं जा सकता। दे म्यूजिक वंस वाज स्वीट हु हियर्ड इट नाउ, अब तुम्हारा जो संगीत था एक समय में सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता था, वह मीठा था, मगर अब इसे कौन सुनता है? Why doth the breeze sigh over three in vain? मतलब है, क्यों यह बीती हुई हवा तुम्हारे पास आके यहाँ भरती है? वह कोशिश करती है कि तुम्हारे अंदर से कुछ आवाज़ निकले, म्यूजिक निकले, जबकि तुम्हारे तार तो टूट चुके हैं, तो तुमसे तो कोई मेलोडी अब निकलेगी नहीं। साइलेंस ऑफ बाउंड ट्री विथ हर फैटल चेन, जिसका मतलब है सन्नाटे ने, चुप्पी ने तुम्हें खुद से बांध लिया है, अपने चैन से बांध लिया है जो फटेल है। नेग्लेक्टेड म्यूट एंड डेजुलेटेड आर्ट्स दाओ, इसका मतलब है तुम उपेक्षित हो, तुम्हारी किसी को फिक्र नहीं है, तुम्हें सबने अकेला छोड़ दिया है, अपने से दूर कर दिया है। लाइक रुनेड मोन्यूमेंट ऑन डिजर्ट प्लेन, जब किसी रेगिस्तान में कोई बड़ी एक स्मारक होती है और समय के साथ वह टूट जाती है तो लोग उससे किनारा कर लेते हैं, उनका उसमें इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो जाता है। ओ मैनी हैंड्स मोर वर्थी फॉर देन माइन, वह हाल तुम्हारा भी हो गया है, कई हाथ जो तुमसे वह ज़्यादा लायक थे, मैंने जो पीटी लिखी थी उनसे कहीं ज़्यादा बेहतर लोगों ने लिखी थी। वंस दे हारमोनियस कोट टू स्वीटनेस गाओ, एक साथ बजती हुई तारों की वो मिठास। एक समय था जब इंडिया की पोयम बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस थी, पोएट्स थे जिनकी पोयम बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस थी और उनकी पोयम में एक बहुत ज़्यादा मिठास थी और इसके लिए वह बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस थे। एंड मैनी आ ब्रेथ फॉर देन द डिड फेम इन डिवाइन, प्रसिद्धि ने उनके लिए कई मालाएं बनाई, फूलों की माला, उनकी पोएम्स को बहुत ज़्यादा सम्मान दिया गया। ऑफ फ्लावर्स स्टिल ब्लूमिंग ऑन द मिन्स्ट्रेल ग्रेव, मतलब जो कि फूलों से थी जो आज भी उनके ग्रेव पर खिले हुए हैं। उन पोएट्स की फेमस वर्क्स है, भले ही पोएट्स मर गए हैं लेकिन उनकी जो पोएम्स है उन्हें आज भी लोग पढ़ते हैं और इसके थ्रू आज भी उन पोएट्स को याद किया जाता है। दोज हैंड आर कोल्ड बट इफ़ दे नोट्स डिवाइन, यानी उनके हाथ ठंडे हो चुके हैं, वह मर चुके हैं, वह नई कविताएं नहीं लिख सकते हैं, मगर तुम्हारी यह धुन जो कि पवित्र है। मे वी वाई मॉर्टल बी कैन वंस अगेन, हो सकता है वह दोबारा इंसानों के द्वारा जगह दिया जाए जो आज के पोएट्स हैं, जो हो सकता है कि उतनी फेमस पोएम लिख सकें, क्योंकि दोबारा से जगह दिया जाए तो म्यूजिक जो तुम्हारे मरने के बाद जो मर चुका है। लास्ट लाइन, हार्प ऑफ माई कंट्री लेट मी स्प्राइट्स द स्ट्रेन, मेरे देश के हाथ मुझे एक बार तो मैं बजाने दो, मुझे कोशिश करने दो, मैं तुम्हारे उन टैलेंट को वापस उसी ग्लोरी ऊंचाई पर पहुंचा सकूं।
Hello friends, my name is Muskan Khan. I am a student of BA third year. My subject in English elective presentation to Sonia ma'am. My topic is Harp of India. My topic is Harp of India. Key points about point second summary, third analysis, fourth literary devices. Henry Louis Vivien Derougio, 18 April 1809, 26 December 1831, was an Indian poet and assignment headmaster of Hindu College, Kolkata. He was a radical thinker of his time and one of the first Indian education to disseminate Western learning and science among the young men of Bengal. Long after his yearly death, his legally lived on among his former students, who come to be now as young Bengals, and many of who become permanent in social reform, law, and germ Muslim. Part 1. The poem begins with the question, why hang thousand lonely on you, whether the vow do here refers to the harp and in a deeper sense the natives of India. The poet wonders why the harp is hanging lonely on the dry and dead branch. Thus, the very beginning of the poem is full of sadness and melancholy. In the next line, the poet imagines with deep grief that it will remain there forever without its strings. So, like the dead branch, it is also dead. For there the poet signs the once its music was quite sweet, meaning that before being unstrung it used to have sweet melodies, but who hears to now because its strings have been removed and hence it cannot produce music. It has become too old to be played now. Act 2, the second part being with a mourn what ends in hope. Also, there is a shift from the musical instrument harp to those who sung melodies poets. The poets say that there were a number of poets before him whose melodies are more worthily for than his own. The produced excellent poetry that would make a listeners willful. In the ends, the poets say those hands are cold. Hand here refer to poets who are dead now, what he desired to revive their work and hopes that the lost glory of India will be back again. Analysis harp here refers to the poets whose poetry and melodies were sweet and who have lost their glory in the British rule and thus they are unstrung. Nobody listens to them now because of the development and the modernity due to the invention of British and even little hope and struggle cannot make their right again. In the second part, hand refers to the poets who lived before the poet and and brought marvelous poetry. According to the poet, their immortal work has kept them alive even today, and thus they live in spite of being in the grave. In the end, the poet say that now that they are dead, he desired to review that literature and thus bring the glory of Indian culture back, which is lost now. Literary device, smile, fiction, and sani kudons. Many a hand, those hands are cold. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. Myself, Sakshi Parashar, and I am a student of BA third year. This is my presentation on the poem The Obituary by A.K. Ramanujan. A.K. Ramanujan. A.K. Ramanujan was a Indian scholar, poet, playwright, translator. He had contributed in five different languages: English, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, and Sanskrit. Awards: Sahitya Academy Award. About the poem The Obituary. Obituary has contained 8 stanzas, 7 lines in every stanza. Entire poem description of that of poet's father. Autobiographical poem, no rhyme scheme, use of slant half rhymes. The themes of the obituary poem is loss of the poet's father, the materialistic emotional relationship of father and son, conversational and direct tone, poet's expression more of complaints, his life full of responsibilities. The literary devices of the poem The Obituary is alliteration, depths and daughters, imagery. He burned properly at the cremation and his death by heart failure in the fruit market, enjambment, continuation of thoughts, no natural stopping points. The summary of the poem Obituary is The poem begins with the speaker telling the reader that his father died. When he died, he left behind a lot. There are unless and meaningless things like dust and old papers. But there are also memories and rituals which are going to last a lifetime. In the half of the poem, the speaker describes how they cremated this father and threw his leftover bones into the river. He also speaks about something he learned but is yet to see with his own eyes. Apparently, his father left an obituary in an local paper. Now the son is searching the most popular papers for it, hoping to see this other thing he left behind. The poem ends with an emphasis on the importance of the rituals that came from his father and are now established parts of family life. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Rashna Singh. The Post Office, a three-act play, begins with Madhav Datta speaking with the doctor about a young boy with a fever. The doctor says boy cannot go outside or he will get worse. Thakur Da, that his wife has wanted to adopt a son and now they have finally done so. The boy is an orphan who is distantly related to them. Thakurda that he didn't want to adopt a son lest the boy foolishly spend all the money Madhav has worked so hard to earn all of his life. Madhav says the doctor will no longer allow Amal to sit by the window.
From by Rabindranath Tagore, translated by the other from the original Bengali. The India Society, London, 1912. Introduction of Gitanjali is a book of song appearing Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize for Literature on November 14, 1930 for his book Gitanjali. It's also contains the special from now as the mind is without fear. Gitanjali Tagore also write about that, and he does so many different and artist wise he doesn't fear that. Instead, he looks forward to it with joy because it's the only way to be with God. The poet presents the idea that time is endless and in the hands of the Almighty, who is the creator. He further adds that for God there is no limit to time, as he has seen countries pass by and will continue to do so for countries to come. Time is infinity for the Almighty.
Everyone, my name is Anjali God and I am a student of BA third year English elective subject. Today I am presenting the Harappa of India in Critical Alliances. Harappa of India is written by the Henry Thoreau as the first modern English poet of India. The Harappa of India celebrated the glorious past of India and the over its loss because of British rule and with the hope that India will remain in its glorious. The poet uses Harappa as the symbol for the Indian poets who were earlier famous but under the rule. The poem is sonnet, however, it's a difference from the traditional sonnets and has rhythm scheme. There are many two sections in the poem. The first section, the poet lament over the losses of glorious past of India. In the second part, the poet hopes that the glory will become. First part, the Harappa refers to the poets whose poetry and melodies were sweet and the who have lost their glory in the British rule and they are the stung. Nobody listens to the now because of the development and the modernized due to the intervention of the British. And even little hope and struggle cannot make the return again. Silence a refresh of the metropolis death of their poetry. According to the poet, while accusing of them for returning, the British has made them like a running movement in the desert which is neglect, silent and explain. Second part is in the second part, Hare refers to the poet who will before the poet and wrote the marvelous poetry. According to the poet, their imperishable work has kept them alive even today, and those they live in spite of being in the grave. In the end, the poets say that now that they awake and that she described to receive that literature and those bring the glories of Indian culture back which is lost now. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you all have liked this video presentation.